So this is a really simple exercise, and I urge you to follow along with me as I go so that you can create this for yourself. But the first thing that you're going to want to do is grab a pen and some paper, or pencil and paper. In my case, I have the whiteboard and a marker, and what you're going to do is draw 4 quadrants. So what I mean by that basically is one line down, one line across, right? Because now you have 4 sections here. Okay guys, as you can see, I went ahead and I created these 4 quadrants, and on the top of the chart you have urgent over the first box, not urgent over the second box, and then on the left hand side you have important right beside the first box, and then not important on the bottom here beside that bottom left box. And so this kind of creates 4 quadrants that help you figure out time management basically. So you have things and activities that are urgent and important, things that are not urgent but are important. You have certain things that are urgent and not important, and then things that are not urgent and not important. And so with this quadrant, you can kind of map out how you kind of spend your time, or how you would like to spend your time in order to be productive. So let's go over this first quadrant here. We have urgent and important. So what are some things that are urgent and important? Well, there are certain things that you can't wait to do that are so important that you have to do them right then and there. For example, if you break your leg, you have to go to the hospital to get it fixed. Say you're working on a project and there is a specific deadline, you have to deliver at that deadline, and that's urgent and important. So if you're in school and in a week from now you have an assignment due, well, it's pretty urgent that you go ahead and start working on that assignment. And it's important because it's an assignment that's going to contribute to your overall grade. So that's something that's urgent and important. So in this category, you want to put things like crisis. So things that happen out of nowhere that you absolutely need to pay attention to, or you need to give your energy to. So if you hurt yourself by accident, or somebody that you love has been in an accident and you need to go be there for them, that's something that's important and urgent. We can put here deadlines. Deadlines are also urgent and important. And then for the last one, we can put something like pressing problems, because if you have pressing problems, those are things that need to be fixed right away, something that needs to be addressed right away. So we can use this example. Say you're driving to work, and on your way to work, while you're in your car, something happens to your car that prevents you from going anywhere at all. Well, that's a problem that you should probably fix right away so that you can get back in your car and carry on with your regular life. So we're gonna put pressing problems as the third one. So we got crises, deadlines, and pressing problems. So you can see right here in this first quadrant, for the most part, it consists of things that you can't necessarily plan for. Yes, with deadlines, you can plan for them and you can meet those deadlines as long as you stay on top of it. But with the crises and the pressing problems, those are things that just kind of arise out of nowhere. You didn't plan for them, but they're important, and so you have to go ahead and deal with them, which makes them urgent. So urgent and important. So yeah, I want you to spend some time here figuring out other things that are urgent and important. If you can't come up with anything else, that's fine. You can use these examples here, but the whole point is to kind of get your brain working into dissecting the different types of things that take up your time in our lives. Over here in the second quadrant, we have not urgent and important. So what are some things that are not urgent but are very, very important? Well, number one that I think of right away is health. Okay, so it's not urgent, and that nobody is going to make you get up and go work out or get up and eat a healthy meal. It's not urgent because your body isn't going to degrade all at once. You're not just going to keel over all at once because you didn't make a healthy decision. However, this is kind of an act of prevention. You eat healthy and you exercise to prevent bad things happening to your body. And in that way, it's important because you want to have a healthy and long life, but they're not urgent. So there's nothing pressing, there's nothing pushing you to do those things. You know, it's different if a doctor pulls you aside and says, hey, listen, you really have to start acting this particular way starting next week because, you know, you're in danger. That's a little bit different. We're talking about, you know, making those decisions for yourself in an act of prevention. So that's the word we're going to write up here, is prevention. When you actively take care of yourself and you eat high quality foods and you exercise a lot, those are kind of things that you do in order to prevent anything bad from happening and to bring vitality into your life. So again, they're really, really important because they contribute to you having a healthy, long life. So that's kind of what is important, but not urgent. Like I said, nobody's going to make you do these things. You could just sit on the couch and eat potato chips and chocolate bars for the rest of your life. No one is going to make you not do that. that is entirely up to you. But it is important that you look after yourself. So that is one thing that we're going to put up here is prevention. Another one that could fall under this quadrant, which I think is really, really important, is relationship building. So we're going to go ahead and put that before I explain it. So why would relationships be considered important but not urgent? Well, it's kind of like the act of prevention. Nobody's going to make you go out there and develop relationships with people that will help you out in your career or make your life more meaningful or happier, to give you that kind of human experience where you're connecting with other people. You know, you could just not do that for your whole life, and that's a choice. But it is important that you take advantage of making powerful relationships in your life, especially with your career. If you're an artist, you know, relationships with people who own galleries, relationships with other types of artists, you know, these relationships will help you further your career. And you've heard it before, it's all about who you know. There is some truth to that for sure. So if you know somebody who can connect you to another person, you're kind of building this social web that's going to help you progress, and new opportunities will reveal themselves to you just because you're doing this relationship building at all. And it is important because relationships can bring you amazing, amazing opportunities, but they also allow you to experience that really, really great connection with another person. Relationships are very, very good for us as we are social beings, and so we kind of need them, but it's not urgent. So nobody's going to make you do it. You basically could choose not to have any relationships in your life if you so pleased. However, it is important that you do take advantage of that. So that's another one. It's important, but it's not urgent. The next one that we're going to put under this category is new opportunity. What do I mean by a new opportunity, and why is that important, and why isn't it urgent? Well, what I mean by new opportunity is basically you setting aside time to find more opportunities for yourself. If you're an artist, this is crucial, because what it means is that you can sit down and actively try to progress your career by finding more opportunities, whether that's grants online, or maybe that's corporate buyers looking to buy artwork for their offices. There are so many different types of opportunities out there. But the point here is that setting aside time to go ahead and look for those opportunities and then apply for them or go after them is going to change your life as an artist big time. So it's really, really important that you do that, because it can bring you from here to here, or it can get you more sales, or it can get you more exposure as an artist. It can build up your reputation, but it's not urgent. Obviously, nobody is going to make you go after these opportunities for yourself. You know, they're not a pressing matter. It's not like you have to fill these out. It's not like you have to go after these opportunities. But if you did, it would be very advantageous to you as an artist. So that's kind of that second quadrant. Things that are really, really important, but not urgent whatsoever. We have prevention, relationships, and new opportunity. All right, so now we're moving on to the third quadrant, which is right here under not important and urgent. So right away, what are some things that aren't important but are urgent? Well, interruptions for sure. So we can go ahead and put that, excuse my messy handwriting here, interruptions. So what I mean by that is text messages, phone calls, emails, things that are not important. So as long as those emails, phone calls, and text messages are not important, they're just a friend kind of checking in like, hey, what's up? What are you doing tonight? What'd you do on the weekend? Like that type of thing is not important, and it's urgent because it pops up right in front of you, so it interrupts you from what you're doing. The whole idea of this urgency is something that is just in the moment, happens right away. So for sure, a text or a phone call just kind of happens. You have to deal with it or you don't. So if it's not important, but it's urgent, it could be an interruption. So text messages, phone calls, emails, that type of thing. Another thing that could be under this category is popular activities, right? So things that are not important, but they're urgent, that would be a popular activity. Might be like a party that you're invited to that night, or a hangout with some friends, or it could be that there is a hockey game on that night and everybody's invited and you have to go and watch it. Well, they're urgent because they have set times attached to them. So the hockey game is on at 7 o'clock tonight. You have to be there at 7, But the thing is that the hockey game really isn't that important if it means it's going to be taking you away from something else that is important to you. So really what this category is getting at is any type of distraction that pulls you away from things that are important to you. Maybe spending time with friends and family is something you haven't done in a while, and so that is really, really important, and that's something that you should do, and that's totally fine. That's not what we're saying here. We're saying here that if it's a distraction, and you know it's a distraction, then it is not important. It's urgent because it's coming up in the moment and it's taking you away from what you're doing, but it's not important. And so you have to decide whether or not you're going to follow through with it. Okay, so now we have arrived to the last quadrant, which is under not important and not urgent. So basically things that are time wasters. We all do this all of the time, and sometimes it's fine. I mean, let yourself relax. Obviously, we all need that. But say you go into work, you have an 8-hour day ahead of you, and you decide to just watch Netflix all day instead of actually do any work. Well, I would say that that activity is not important and it's not urgent. It's something that you don't need to be doing that is actually a time waster. So we're going to put time waster right here at the top. So to kind of reiterate here, not important and not urgent things would be spending too much time on your cell phone, just browsing through apps mindlessly, watching Netflix all day, just doing things that are not important and they're not urgent. They're just kind of leisurely, maybe pleasurable activities that would kind of fall under the not important and not urgent category. So we do have 4 quadrants here, and now I want to tell you that the most important quadrant is, if you haven't guessed it already, is the important and not urgent quadrant, because this right here allows you to plan ahead and allows you to plan for your career. When you spend time sitting down and deciding on what actions you're going to take in the future that are going to positively affect your career, you are spending time in the important and not urgent category. When you're spending time exercising, when you're spending time figuring out your diet to help with your health, when you're figuring out relationships and how to build relationships with people, when you're looking at new opportunities, all of these amazing things fall under the important but not urgent category. So my proposition to you is, as an artist, to use this table, map out where you spend most of your time during the day, and then change it accordingly. So change it so that you have more important but not urgent tasks in your day. And if you keep doing that over time, you will be able to progress as an artist drastically. So this is the exercise. Sit down with a pen and a paper, and I want you to imagine a day where you have nothing planned at all. So maybe it's a Sunday, or maybe it's a holiday. Whatever it is, you have one free day totally. Sit down with your pen and paper, and I want you to schedule your day from the time that you would wake up until the time that you would go to bed, considering this table, okay? So what things are you going to include in that schedule for your free day? Are you going to do things that are not urgent and not important, so sit around all day and do nothing? Or are you going to do things that are important and not urgent? So are you going to take the time to really conceptualize what it is that you want your life to be, and then take some steps that are going to help you get there? This is the essence of time management, looking at your life, assessing where you spend most of your time, and then changing it so that you're progressing towards a goal. Spend some time plotting out a free day and what that would look like. And if you're able to do that, next time you do get a free day, put it to use, try it out. And you can do this as a daily challenge as well. Try to set aside some time, maybe an hour to 2 hours, however much time you have every single day, to spending time in this quadrant right here. So things that are important but not urgent. If you can spend an hour or 2 hours right here every day, planning things, looking for new opportunities, conceptualizing what you want your future to look like, thinking about new pieces of artwork, developing relationships, exercising, eating healthy, all of those things. If you can sit down and do that for at least an hour to 2 hours every single day, your life will go from here to here, not just physically, but mentally. As an artist, you'll feel way more confident and capable to handle new tasks in the future. So this is the essence of time management. If there's any questions at all, please feel free to email me at communications@mawi'art.org. You can set up a Zoom call with me personally, and I can help you go over your very own schedule with you and talk about these concepts a little more in depth if you have any questions. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Take care.